Hi guys, and welcome back to the Rare Record Room, and a big hello to any new viewers. This is where I share with you some of the records I've collected over the last 40 years or so. These range from 1950s rock and roll right up to the Britpop era of the 1990s. They're mostly United Kingdom pressings on all manner of labels, including the big mainstream companies like EMI, RCA and Decca, through to the smaller collectible subsidiaries such as Vertigo, DRAM, Blue Horizon, Immediate and EMI's Harvest and Apple labels. I hope you'll find these episodes interesting and informative. If that's the case, why not give us a like and take a look at some of my other record collecting videos. Thank you.
In a previous video I covered the Graham Bond organisation's first LP, The Sound of 65, which you might wish to check out. In this episode I'll be looking at their follow-up album, There's a Bond Between Us, which was released in autumn 1965, just a few months after their debut. The lineup was unchanged, led by Graham Bond on organ, alto sax, vocals and mellotron, with Jack Bruce on bass guitar, harmonica and vocals, Dick Heckstall-Smith on tenor and baritone sax, and Ginger Baker on drums and percussion. There's a Bond Between Us was produced by Robert Stigwood and is a similar blend of original songs and rhythm and blues covers to their first LP, including the Graham Bond version of Ray Charles' What'd I Say, and another song Ray Charles made famous, the soulful Night Time Is the Right Time, written by Roosevelt Sykes. Of the original compositions, the highlights include Jack Bruce's Hear Me Calling Your Name and Graham Bond's Baby Can It Be True, described in one review as a cross between Tom Jones and Dracula, that features one of the earliest appearances of the mellotron, a curious new instrument described in the sleeve notes as an organ capable of replicating the sound of any instrument in any key. The flamboyant Graham Bond was using the mellotron a full 2 years before it came to prominence when used by the Beatles and the Rolling Stones as a signature sound of psychedelic rock. It was released in mono only on the familiar Columbia label design, with text in light blue and silver printed on a black background. The very first pressing of this album has 33 SX on the label and is rather scarce. Shown here is a 1969 pressing on Columbia's silver and black label featuring a boxed EMI logo. It has the catalogue number SX1750. On this pressing the rim text states The Gramophone Company Limited, followed by an all rights reserved notice. The label also states Made in Great Britain. The LP sleeve is a front laminated flip back type, stated patents pending to the lower flip back. It is printed and made in England by Garrett and Lofthouse Limited. The spine displays the album title and the group name. The inner sleeve is a plain paper, non-die cut bag with a small patent number and Made in Great Britain being the only printed text. The LP was not a commercial success and upon release was seen as a pale imitation of their debut album, and subsequently it did not chart. As such, it's pretty scarce and desirable. Mint copies of the 1965 first pressing are valued at £400 in the Rare Record Price Guide. The 1966 pressings without the 33 SX on the label are valued at £150, and this 1969 boxed logo label copy is worth around £60. The group was plagued by substance abuse, especially Graham Bond and Ginger Baker, and Baker and Jack Bruce were increasingly hostile towards each other, resulting in the senior drummer sacking Bruce from the band. Bruce briefly joined John Mayall's Bluesbreakers, where he met guitarist Eric Clapton, before gaining chart success with Manfred Mann in early 1966. Meanwhile, in the Graham Bond organisation, Ginger Baker had also left, being replaced by John Heisman on drums. The organisation stumbled on as a trio for a while, but Bond's physical and mental health continued to deteriorate. The band called it a day in 1967, by which time Baker and Bruce, together with Eric Clapton, had formed the first supergroup, Cream. Dick Heckstall-Smith and John Heisman of the organisation joined John Mayall's Bluesbreakers, and then they formed Colosseum, the jazz, rock and blues pioneers. Graham Bond sadly spiralled out of control. His heroin addiction took hold, and he developed an unhealthy interest in occultism and the dark arts, and he was briefly institutionalised in 1973 with suspected schizophrenia. He died in 1974 under a tube train at Finsbury Park Station in London. His death was not witnessed, and the coroner recorded an open verdict, although many sources list his death as suicide. For their brief recording output, and in particular their influential debut LP, the Graham Bond organisation are retrospectively seen as an innovative and groundbreaking force in British blues, and Graham Bond, alongside the respected Alexis, Korner and John Mayall, is seen as a rather overlooked figure in British rhythm and blues. This brings to an end my brief history of Graham Bond and the LP There's a Bond Between Us. That's your lot for this episode from the Rare Record Room. I hope you enjoyed the content. If you did like the video, please make sure you subscribe to the channel to see more and to receive notifications for any new uploads. Thanks for watching. See you next time.